Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I hope you guys are well. I just took my allergy medicine, so you may hear a little clearing of the throat, but all is well. I hope you guys are doing well. Yesterday was a phenomenal week. Phenomenal. So USDCHF, that played out to the second option that we looked at and discussed last week. If you missed the video, I was looking for a deeper retracement on USDCHF that would have put us at about 300 pips, but we did not get that deep retracement, and instead we had a setup of 4-1 with 250 so pips in profit. It still was a great day. Nonetheless, I'm back and I want to take a look at USDJPY, and what I'm doing right now is I am going through the chart, identifying swing highs, swing lows, and from there, I'm going to use my fib to find my direction on this setup, right? So I'm starting off on the monthly chart. I've identified all of the areas that I believe to be support and resistance, and I'm going to use the smart support to double check that. I like to do this manually first, just to make sure that I don't lose the skill of being able to do that. And then I'm gonna check the resistance, and it looks like we're good on both fronts. If you don't know what swing highs, swing lows are, or support and resistance, I strongly encourage you to visit the no-cost mini course. There you will learn several things that will be useful to you in following along to the markups. All right, so you could check that out by visiting the link below. I'm going to mark this level off as my weekly level of resistance, and I'm looking for levels of support now. All right, so we have this level, we have this level, we have this level, and we have this level here. And I'm going to finish off because this is so many pips in between, right? So price currently sits at 148. I'm all the way down at 113. I don't think I need all of this, but I'm going to stay within the bounds of 98. And then I'll start to move to the upside. But I want to make sure that I get everything that I have down here first, even though price is highly unlikely to move this much in the amount of time that this analysis will be good for. But I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna double check. Looks like that third level that we added is in play. I'm gonna check the smart support, and I missed one. So we have a monthly level and we have a weekly level of support. So I just grabbed that one, but it looks as though the other 5 are there. So I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna go down to daily. And I'm going to add the daily levels. Now y'all see I color code. So I'm color coding so that when I pull up these charts on the go, I will be able to see what's up. What's up, right? Okay, so I am going to grab this swing low here, and we're going to grab here. And we've taken out this high, so I can't count that as a high anymore because current price is printing above there. This is my level of resistance, and I am going to grab this level here. I know some of y'all be like, girl, how do you even see the swing lows? Like in the swing highs, you can't even see the candles. You can see it. And then on top of that, as you continue to mark up charts, it'll become easier just for you to know the formation, right? What it is that you're looking for. So I will say that this is practice and years of experience. I would encourage you, if I'm gonna stop here because it's so far away, right? I'll be marking up levels forever. I would encourage you to spend some time on the charts, and maybe it is only support and resistance that you're doing for the moment. Let me just check and see. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we got them all. So I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to go down to the 4. And the 4 is typically where I stop, right? But we may have to go down lower. This is 2.6. I believe this is higher. We've created a new high. Yep, 148.594. So I'm going to pick up this level, right? Because that's a 4-hour level. We're going to pick up this. I'm going to also pick up this. And then I'm going to pick up this. There's a lot of little levels here. I missed one. So I'm going to pick up this. And I'm also going to grab this. I think I'm going to stop there, but I am going to go back within the bounds of where price currently is. So I can't mark this off as a level. We don't have the full formation yet. I am going to mark this level as a level of support. And then I'm also going to grab here as a level of support. Now looking below, I do have another level, which is right here. And then I'm looking. I think I'm just going to turn on smart supports. Excuse me. To make sure I didn't miss anything. And I'm going to adjust this. Oops. I'm going to adjust the monthly one. That's what I want to pull down. But there we go. Okay. And then it looks like there are 2 levels right here, which there are. So we're going to adjust that. The system is not picking this up as a 4 hour, so I'll get rid of that. So it looks like I'm good. I'm going to turn this off. Now that I've done that, I'm going to go back to the monthly and I'm going to start my my fib hunt, right? I'm going to figure out overall direction of and not overall direction. I'm using it on the higher time frame to find overall direction, but then as I drill down, I should be able to figure out what's going to happen, right? So I'm looking at the previous fib. We have A low, B high. We have 786 pullback. We hit that D extension, but we didn't form a high. We hit the D extension at 120, let's call it 127 to 129, but we didn't form a swing high until price got to 151.4. And then we immediately saw a drop off. Price found support at this monthly level of 127.26. And we shot up until the monthly resistance level of 161.83. And so price is playing in a range and has been since last year, right? It looks like on the monthly that we have a double bottom. So we may be revisiting this high at 161.42. But I am going to leave this chart because we got a 38.2 pullback. So theoretically, our D extension should sit at 184.790. So I'm going to put this into the parameters. 184.790. We'll do our TP, and we're going to call this, and we'll label it our monthly TP. So I'm going to put monthly D extension, right? So boom, there. We're going to leave this chart up. I'm going to go to the next chart. Go to the weekly. I forgot to carry down all of my levels. So we're going to link to all. There we go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the fib from the weekly time frame. And instead of going all the way back here, because we see what happened, right? So this was the active fib, A low, B high, but price took out this A. And so I'm going to move over to my next low and see what we got going on. So the play was here, A low, B high. We had an 8.6 pullback. We hit that. We formed a swing high, and then we saw price drop off, right, in reverse. And so this is currently our active fib. We did hit off a monthly resistance, right? And so price moved to the downside. We found a lower high at another monthly resistance. So our first monthly resistance was 161.84. Our next one was 159.24. And then we found resistance against 151.11 daily and it looks like weekly. And so what I want to do now, because we hit this D extension, I want to start looking at this from the downside because that's the way that price has been moving recently, right? So we had the high here, we moved to the downside. We retraced, we moved to the downside. So I'm going to go 1 degree lower. Excuse me. I'm sorry, y'all. And actually, if I looked at it from the weekly, I'm going to go back. Hold on. And I'm going to look at this from the weekly. I'm going to go above my last high, A high, B low. We had, it looks like a 786 pullback. The high is 158.873. So this was a 786 pullback, not 86. This would put our overall, right? Overall D extension at, what is this? I'm trying to get the 136.217. So I'm going to double click this. I'm going to put in 136.217. And let's make sure that's green. This is going to be our weekly, if I can spell today, weekly D extension, right? Okay. So I've marked that off. Now I need to figure out what can I do right now? Like, this is good to tell me the overall direction, but what's on the table? What's the play for now? So I'm going to go down to the daily, and for practice, I'm going to click above the last high. None of this I can do anything with, right? When it's not lit up green, yellow, or red or yellow, I can't do anything with this. So I'm going to go to my next high, and I'm going to click above the last high. Now, my active fib, based off of the pullback that we have right now, but we're gonna flip it. So I'm gonna tell you why we're gonna flip it. So I'm reading the fibs. I see that these sequences have finished, right? We had an A high, a B low, we had a 38.2 pullback, we hit the D extension, we formed a level of weekly support, right? And then we started pushing up from there. Currently, we have a 618 pullback, but I'm going to have to go down to the 4 to really see what's going on. I want to see if we've hit a D extension to the upside, and I believe that we have. So I am going to, now that I've looked to the downside, right? I see we hit the D extension. I understand where we are in the sequence. I want to see if we've satisfied the Fibonacci sequence to the upside. So I'm going to go to the 4. And I am going to click below the last low, right? So this was a setup. This was A low. This was B high. We got a 786 pullback. Our D extension was at 147.096. So we did. And for those of you guys who are in class and watch the videos after we hit a D extension, what happens? Put it in the comments, please. So I am going to start setting this up for sale, right? So I am going to plot my my uptrend lines, and the reason I'm drawing the trend lines to the upside is because we've been moving to the upside. If I am anticipating a sale, I am anticipating that price is going to change directions, and so I am going to lean here, and it may not be a huge sale, right? May not be a huge sell at all. Now let me put this back on. This was a setup, so I'm going to manually draw out, and this assumes that we get a swing high in the zone where price has the high, right? I can't actually say if this is going to happen or if it's not, but looking at structure, looking at what we have going on here, I see the potential for a couple of things. I see the potential for price to come back to the 38.2. We're going to turn this red. So if I can do this, we're going to turn that red. Or we have structure, right? I'm looking at structure. We have structure at around the 618. Let's call it 50 because it's not exactly 618. So I'm going to duplicate this. And I done went, y'all, every time I make a video, and I've even been doing this in class, I encourage everybody to set up their charts, like multiple charts, and then I get to go in and forget to do it myself. Each time frame should have its own chart. So the weekly should have had a chart, the daily should have had a chart, and then this would have been my entry and my setup. So I'm looking at the fact that we had previous resistance, right? This was a resistance zone, and I'll bring it down. This was a resistance zone, and it falls at the 38.2. And then we also have the potential for price to move to the level of support that aligns with the 618, right? So I can't count this as a swing high yet. We have not gotten a new fib to form here because we don't have a full formation. And if you are watching and you are a coaching student or you have bought the course, why is this not getting a fib yet? What else do we need in order to make this happen? I'm not going to answer that one. I'm going to let you guys do it. But this is what I'm anticipating. So this would be, I'm going to go from where price currently is to our first stop. That's about 200 pips. And the other one to structure is about 325, we'll call it, from where price currently is. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to double check because I see that I've drawn this incorrectly. I'm going to adjust this, and then I'm going to draw another one. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here. And this is cool, but like I need something now that's going to tell me now. So I am going to draw from my last touch to my next touch, and these are like really aggressive, but it'll help you see the overall change in direction. And then I'm gonna go here to here. So it looks like on the 15 we're starting to get the breakdown. I'm gonna look with the smart trend line, but I think I've drawn this incorrectly too, because look down here, I've gotten too aggressive. So we're gonna pull that out. That's where that should be. So it looks like we're starting to break through, right? It looks like we're starting to break through. I got a lot of trend lines going on, right? But this was to help with the entry. So what I want to do is I'm going to take my fib. I'm going to place it from the C. And this is what we got going on now. And actually, I'm going to go back because I started in the middle, but I know I'm going to start from this low. I believe it's going to give me the same fibs, but let's see. Yeah, it did. So that's the 15. I'm going to go out to the hour. So this was what I'm trying to see is our low. Our low was 144.824. This was 144. So it didn't pull back here. This was our D extension. And so I'm anticipating the correction and getting a swing high. So this is the hour. I'm going to go back to the 4 to see if I missed anything on the higher time frame. So this current leg, look how price is pushing down. Y'all see that? We're getting a wick to form. So price sellers are coming in heavy, right? They're coming in heavy. This was a setup here, A low, B high, 38 to almost 50 pullback, and we hit the D extension. We anticipate a retracement based off of that setup. Now I'm trying to find, we created a new high. Our next level up is all the way to this daily. So you have to play this one. How you gonna play it as far as placing a stop? Let me go on to the hour. So looking at this, if you are waiting for break and retest, great, right? And you would have to wait on the lower time frame and place your stop loss. And in a situation like this, so how I determine stop loss is usually above the last high, but we created a new high. So technically our last high is all the way up here at daily, right? So this would put us, this would make our trade I don't want to say impossible, but who wants a 200 pip stop loss? Not I. So in this case, I'm going to go in with a flat stop loss of 50 pips. I'm going to set it up because I don't have the information to determine based off of a last high, right? So I'm going to turn this red. If I can see red. Okay. And what I'm going to look for is, I'm going to go down to the 15, but I'm going to set this up for the first TP only. So we'll turn this green. And let me go down to the 15. Are we breaking? Okay. So I may have to adjust this based off of what price is doing. So in the 15, it looks like we're getting a break, although I don't have a swing low. So it can't give me enough info. We're breaking. I can't even project unless I go down to the 5. Let me see what's on the 5. I don't like doing this because the 5 is not that stable, right? But I don't have enough information on the 15. 1, 2, we had a 23.6 pullback. Our D extension sits here on the 5. So I'm going to just mark this off. And then I'm going to map out a potential. And we may push. So let me tell you what I see. This assumes that price just plays off of the pullback that we had here, right? That's a swing high. But what I see is that this was less than a 38.2 pullback. So what we may get is we may get a swing low to form here, right? And then we may get a push up deeper, and I would say at least to the 38.2. So I'm going to drop that right into that zone. Then I would adjust my setup. So I'm going to move down my entry. Down here. And then now I don't have to do 50 pips. I'm placing my stop loss above the last high. So it might be 15. I like to go with highs that are on higher time frames. That's stronger, right? But we don't have enough information. So I'm going to adjust this. And that would be what I would be looking for. So we got one or two things that could happen. Price could continue to push down, hit the D extension, and then we're basing the entry off of this, right? You're waiting for price to pull back at least to the 38.2. Looking at structure, though, you probably are going to get a pullback in this zone. Or we're going to find a level of support. We're going to push up back into this zone, and that would be the entry for the sale. Mind you, this is a 5-minute chart. I like higher time frame charts. So going back to the potential entry all the way down to our take profit, that's about 224 pips on the table with a risk of, let's call it 40 pips. So 40 for 220, what is that? 40, 220, not 7. I'm trying to do the math in my head. That's 5 to 1. I think that's 5 to 1. So that's what I think we got going on here. Again, I don't like the 5-minute chart, but that's all the information that I have. Risk to reward, this makes sense all day. Let me know in the comments what your bias is on USDJPY. I think we've got a potential great setup for the week and an opportunity to catch a ton of pips. If you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you like the approach to the market, if it's simple enough for you, take a look. There are tons of videos throughout this channel. I have been on YouTube for the past 5 years, and so you'll find a wealth of information and knowledge. If you're like, hey, Kaci, I want to know the exact steps. I want to understand what it is you're doing and why. I encourage you to visit the no-cost mini course. And then finally, if you're like, okay, I want you to hold my hand, I want you to walk me through this, I would tell you to check out the coaching option. it has been, I don't want to say a blessing to me, but it has been a blessing to me. I enjoy watching others find success in this space. So I enjoy our sessions. We meet twice a week, about 2 hours each session, and usually it is pretty good information. So anyway, that's enough rambling. I'm running at the mouth now. I hope you guys have a phenomenal week. This is a week to catch many pips. And so I want you to do just that. I will see you on the next video. I hope you have a great week, and consider subscribing to the channel if you're looking for more detailed information on this. All right. Have a good one. Bye.